it's under either Tools and Resources, or probably the easiest way is Agent Tools, and then just TextERA. And if just in case you watch this and it's you're kind of new to the program, always a great page to kind of scroll down. There are frequently asked questions, a flyer, getting started guide. So not a bad little summary of kind of what TextERA is. Just a reminder. I'm going to click Go to your dashboard. And as soon as we get into the dashboard, so I will see if I'm clicking around, I have all the properties that are available, within the brokerage. So it might look a little different, but you're kind of going to see this same exact page. And we're going to talk about property codes, keywords, and then just show you some of the marketing pieces that are sort of built in and customizable, strictly for you, for your listings within TextERA. So we're going to start with this manage property codes. So what happens is if you click, if you log in and click this, if you don't even have a listing right now, you will have a minimum of 5 text codes. So this code on the far left is the text code. And then if you do have a listing, you'll see a property is attached to the text code. If you don't, the property address can be blank, and that's fine. But what happens is when you list a property, as soon as it gets into the system, and it will automatically attach to one of your codes. So you don't have to do anything right away. Like, you will automatically, get a listing, put it in the system. It will automatically be assigned a text code. And at that point, it's you're able to start, and we're going to talk through this about marketing using the text code. So just so you guys know, if I click anywhere, the code, the address, you will be the owner. You'll see this page, and it's just, if you want to change the address assigned to this text code, you can. This phone number is always the same, 35620. If for some reason you wanted to change the leads assigned to, obviously I don't think you would. And then there is just a marketing source, marketing medium, but just kind of wanted to show you that. But essentially, you're really just not really going to do anything with that page. But not bad to know that it exists. So some of the ideas of marketing. So actually, I'm going to quick start with the TextERA is the #1 lead generation for all of ERA. So kind of just think about that. That actually includes Zillow leads and realtor leads, and just any of the leads that ERA, whether it's a tool or a third-party platform that that like Zillow, that we just get leads from, TextERA is the #1 lead gen. So that's kind of important to know that it works. And if we use it properly, or if we figure out, hey, how can I make it work for me? The idea is that we can create leads for us. If I'm using my text code that is assigned to one of my properties, all the leads come to me. So it's kind of an important piece to realize that, I'm not creating leads for anyone else. These leads are for me. So when you list a property and it assigns this text code, and you're assigned this text code, it assigns this address to it. The idea is okay, now what do I do with it? What can I do with it? Well, TextERA was obviously started with text codes on signs. So just to kind of show you what one looks like, I'm going to actually just go into the sign shop. So I'm up at Marketing Suite at the top, and then sign shop. And again, just want to kind of show you, this is an example of a sign writer. So you'll see there are a bunch of different ones, different sizes. You can get metal, plastic, really anything you want. But let me look. This is kind of this is one that I'm kind of hovering over. So, it's got the little phone, kind of cool. You could actually cut this phone off and just have the info as far, as on the sign. But the text number, you'll see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That is your text code. So the one we just looked at had 6 digits. I already forgot it. But let's say it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And that's assigned to 123 Main Street. This 235620 is always the same. So what you need to do is, let's say I told you in your platform, if you log in, even if you don't have any listings, you'll be assigned 5 different text codes, the first number, and as you get listings, they assign to, a new text code. Well, just remember that we can reuse these. I showed you in that configuration, you can assign a text code to whatever property you want. And that's kind of important to remember. So, if you buy 3 sign writers, because I don't know, maybe you have 1 or 2, maybe 3 listings at a time. If you had more and wanted to use them, obviously I would encourage you to, purchase more sign writers. But the idea is, I don't need, if I buy a sign writer for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, because it's assigned to 123 Main Street. Well, when 123 Main Street sells, the text code goes away. Well, that doesn't mean that you need to throw the sign writer out and buy another one. So that's kind of my point, is we can reuse these sign writers. So if we buy 3 of them or whatever number, you can use them over and over for, forever, because those codes will always be yours. So kind of important to know that. So when I talk about TextERA kind of, starting, the whole thing, like, okay, it was 100% sign writers. Like, you put the sign writer on the sign out front, and it gives someone an opportunity to find out about the house without calling the agent. And it really just came from our consumers. In as you can imagine, if I'm just outside a house and I want to learn more about it, beds, baths, price, a lot of folks are afraid to call the agent. Well, I don't want them to be calling me every other day asking me if I have any, so they just kind of want to be like, hey, I kind of want the info, but I, not quite ready to talk to an agent. So if you do have a listing and want to test it, you can text one of your, code numbers to 35620. And again, just kind of, okay, what's going to happen? Well, just know that if someone does that, they are going to get all the information about the house, all the pictures, all the information, that you put in the MLS, the beds, the bath, the price, the description, everything in like seconds. So they're going to get what they need, which is cool. We want them to get the info. At the same time, you're getting their cell number. So basically, you're going to get a text that says, some phone number just inquired, via TextERA about 123 Main Street. So when we talk about the lead gen piece, that's it. If just think about if they were driving around and saw a sign and was like, well, I want to know more. What if they went to Zillow to get info, or Realtor, or, some other app? We're likely, likely 90, in the 90s, high 90% range to not see that lead. Just, and again, they want to go to Zillow because they don't want to call the number on the sign. They just want to get the info, and whether it's something they want to do at that point or not, maybe see it, maybe ask another question. We don't know, but the idea is we're going to lose that. If they, really do anything other than call our number, or in this case, we allow them like, hey, get all the info, and you don't have to talk to an agent, but yet we get that phone number. So, I love the idea of capturing that lead. So that's kind of where that lead gen comes from. Every time we get a sign writer out, and again, I'm going to talk about a few other options for marketing using the text codes, in a second. But every time we put this out there, and if as soon as someone does it, they get what they need, and we get that lead number. And again, we just from there we figure out what we want to do. I typically text back, and whether it's immediate or a little bit later.
Hi, this is Darlene Swords, registered nurse with the
just text back, and just simply say, hey, please let me know if you have any questions about 123 Mean Street. I'm here if you need me, or some sort of message. So a lot of folks, we often encourage agents to call folks. Well, in this case, it's not a good thing, because if they wanted to talk to us, they would have called the number on the sign. So they chose to text. So just kind of remember, like how we're going to reach out to them. Just remember, we got to be a little cautious. But a text back just saying, hey, if you have any questions, and then just leave it at that. And then I would definitely add them to your database, put them in Moxie Engage, maybe set them up for similar listing. I do more, but that initial response to them or back to them, can just be a text, hey, I'm here if you need anything. So again, just some thoughts on that. And as always, if you guys have any questions, please don't hesitate to either throw in chat, or certainly can just unmute yourself. So I am going to go. So these are property codes. They are assigned to you, zero cost. The only cost would be is the cost for you to purchase a sign writer. And just to kind of go back to the sign shop, just remember, you can purchase this in here, and assign which codes. So it'll be custom to your codes, and you can go in here and kind of find the right one. What type of sign are you using? Do you want metal? Do you want corrugated, plastic, whatever. There are a lot of them in here. So you find which one you like, and can purchase it through this sign shop. You also, if you're interested, or have someone, whether it's local, or there is a place in town that that does signs, basically you can take a picture of any one of these signs. This is a simple one. No ERA phone. This one might be a little bit cheaper. You can just take this picture to a local sign shop, and what you're going to want to do then is just get them your three, however many you get them your codes. Hey, I want 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 on this one. I need one that's 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, etc. But just kind of knowing, the signs are able to purchase through here, or you can certainly use, anyone local. And then you're just going to make sure you grab however many of your codes and have them do, each sign different. All the rest of it's the same. The 35620 is the same, but obviously you are going to need different codes for as many signs as you're going to have. So that is the property codes. Again, no cost. The codes are assigned to you. You just need to purchase the sign writers. Yeah, Devin, the properties get automatically uploaded. So when you the system is the process is you get it in the MLS, and we have two systems. One of our system grabs it from the MLS and puts it into ERA's system, and that's a quick process, 15 minutes, but they say within 24 hours, in usually sooner, but within 24 hours, your new listing will be listed right here and automatically assigned a code. And again, yeah, absolutely. And just as a reminder, if you have, let's say you have, if you have one sign writer and it's 621660, if you have that sign writer in the new address comes in and it's assigned to 647162, you can adjust that. So you'll want to come in here and assign your new listing to this code. And just a quick reminder to do that, click on this code. So this is the sign writer I have, and I can just edit this address. And again, you'll see all your listings here. This is the entire brokerage, and I can just say, you know what, assign this property to it. And from that, and then it's that easy to make sure you're assigned, whatever sign writer you have is assigned to the correct property. Good question, because it's automatic. You just want to log in here, especially if you're gonna use it. You want to log in here and make sure it's just assigned to the right property. So that is property codes. The next one I want to talk about are keywords. So I'm going to click this keywords, and so this is an upgrade. So if you want to purchase a keyword, so instead of using the text 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 to 3 5 6 2 0, you can actually purchase a keyword, and you'll see just there's a few of them here. So we have ERA Dan. One of our folks is in Columbus is strictly property management. So his is CBus, which is Columbus rental. So you can just see you can kind of make that whatever. But if you wanted to purchase a keyword, so you could have like literally whatever, like I sell Cincy could be one, or selling Cincy, or Devin sells Cincy, I mean, just think, or your name, just your name, you can kind of do whatever. I would strongly suggest kind of thinking about it, because once you purchase it, I mean, you could cancel it, but then you got to get a new one. So take a minute if you're thinking about this keyword. Something easy to text, kind of gets the point across, but you can simply just hit register. So if I hit register now, this is actually going to, I would choose a keyword, and it would just take me to a page that I would just need to make sure something's available, because obviously somebody else could have a keyword, and this goes across the United States. So if you say, if you just had Devin, well, maybe there's another Devin, so think about it, and then just come in here and if you want to move forward with a keyword, just go in there and make sure it's available and then register it. And that cost for the initial platform is $20 a month. So the difference is, if you had text Devin to 35620, what it's going to do is give them a list of address of your listings. So it's going to give them a list of your listings. So you have 123 Main Street, you have 123, 4th Street. It's going to list them. It will geo-target them, so the closest listing will come up. So if they're still in front of 123 Main Street, that's going to be the first address that comes up, and they'll kind of be able to get that info. Just think about if they swing by 123 Main Street and like, oh, text Devin to 35620. Okay, we'll do that when we get home. If they get home, not a huge deal, but if they get home and text Devin to 35620, but yet they're closer to 4th Street that you have listed, that address is going to come up, and then maybe 123 Main Street. So it's not going to be like the first one just because they happen to get the code off that sign. So again, not a big deal, but just kind of want to make sure if they move on the other side of town, whatever listing of yours is closest is going to come up. So, so you have your listings, get showed up. So if you have 3 of them, it's going to be, 1, 2, 3. And then after that, it's the office listings show up. So, let's just say you're an office, you have 25 listings as an office. All of those are going to just kind of show up in a row by them texting your keyword. So advantages, I don't know. I mean, I personally love the property code because it's very specific on what property they're interested in or drove by and wanted the info. I mean, if all of my listings were 3-bedroom, 2-bath houses in, for 300, maybe I'd like to show them my other listings, but we all know I could have a listing 3-bed, 2-bath for 300 and then have a $100,000 listing and then have $1 million listing. So it's not like all my listings are just always the same. For them to be like, oh, well, we might as well look at all 3, or I didn't know he had 234 Main Street that is the kind of the same as 123 Main Street. But it's totally a preference. It's kind of if you have the right keyword, it can be part of a branding thing. So if you have a tagline, in that taglines available as a keyword, it definitely can show some value in using a keyword. But just kind of think about, okay, what would I use it for? Is it worth $20? That type of thing. So it's 100% a preference thing. So we have 2 options: the property codes, individual code, 6 or 7 digits assigned to a certain property, or the idea of the keyword, a word or little phrase of your choice. You register it, purchase it, $20 a month. So those are the 2 options. So before I kind of show you some of, just one of the marketing sections within TextERA, I want to just talk about some of the different ways and I'm going to go back to the property codes just because I'll use one of them. So 647162 is assigned to 785. It's one of our agents in Florida. So, he can create a sign writer, put it on the sign, text 647162 to 35620, and then just, attempt or collect leads for anybody that does text that. That's obviously one way, buying the sign writer and attaching it. So another way that we can use this is I see a lot of folks throw sort of an entire listing out on social. Check out my new listing. It's 123 Main Street. And if I click on it, I get all the pictures, I get everything on it. I get everything about the house. So if I do that on Facebook, you're not going to know that I clicked it. You're not going to know who I am, whether I know you, whether maybe you're my agent, maybe you're just a friend of a friend, and I happen to see it because they commented. That is not, I don't consider that a lead gen. Like, hey, I'm putting it out there. Yes, I have a new listing, but I'm also giving anyone that clicks on it all the info without getting any info from them. So just kind of think about that. What if we, put on social, like, I have this awesome new listing. It's 732 East Chestnut, I guess we're talking about, okay, it's 785 North Hacienda Street. For more info, text 647162 to 35620. What if we put that on social? What if we put that on a postcard? What if we put that on a flyer outside the house instead of just a full printout so they get all the info? Because again, every single time someone texts 647162, I get a phone number from them. So whether that is on the sign rider or on my Facebook post or on my flyer out front, or wherever I post that, or someone sees it, that's a lead gen opportunity. So it's really, I'm pretty sure, I think the sign riders are great. I love them because people want that info, and I might as well be the one that kind of collects that info. But using these codes on social and in different avenues, I think is why it's the number one lead gen for all of ERA is TextERA, because folks are using them on social and things like that. So again, just an idea to to get a little creative, in super simple. I have a new listing, 123 Main Street. Maybe put a picture of it, but also for more info, text 647162, and just use that as a lead gen piece. So hopefully everyone kind of understands that process and the kind of the thought behind it. And then, you can get creative from that point. Whatever else you decide to do, just know, you can get super creative, because if someone texts this, they're going to get what they want, all the info on the listing that you have, but you're going to get their phone number. So just so you guys know that, this, you can click around in this, you're not going to break it. So check out, all your reports and manage and messaging, kind of check all that out. Just click through, watch the introduction video. I mean, obviously this is kind of what we're doing, but whatever you need to, to kind of get familiar with it, test it if you want to. So even if you're sort of driving by a sign and see one, obviously, if you text it, that agent's going to get your number. If at any time I've ever done it as a test, I've always told the agent, like, hey, that's going to be my number, and I'm just testing it. So I don't want you to think you need to, text me or add me to your database, kind of give them a heads up. But don't be afraid to test it, especially if you have a listing of your own. Obviously, you're going to get the listing, and then you're going to get a text with, oh, here, this number, asked about 123 Main Street. So just to make sure you're comfortable with it, and kind of know what happens when the process starts. One section I'm going to show you guys before we end today is this marketing suite. So if I click this, so obviously this whole, a chunk of this is what we've talked about already with codes and keywords, but I'm actually going to go to this home kits section. So I'm in marketing suite and then home kits. And you'll see, again, this is the whole brokerage. So you're going to see, your one listing or your 5 or however many listings you have. Now, if I click this North Hacienda, sort of the home kits section comes up. So the default are, you'll see on the left, property sheets. I have an open house tab. I have postcards, and then I can just manage data and photos. So when I scroll this, there are 5 flyers that are essentially created for you already. So, let me see if sometimes these allow me to preview, and sometimes it's goofy. I think it might have just downloaded. But on your computer, if you, either preview this or download it, what you're going to do is be able to, check it out. You're going to see your listings. It grabs the first 4 pictures, first 5 pictures, whichever flyer you choose. You can adjust them. It grabs your verbiage from what you put in the MOS. It just makes its way. You can adjust that again if you wanted. It's kind of neat. It's got the address, and then just a bed and a bath kind of as a picture. It's kind of cool. Prices on there. Knowing that you guys can adjust this, but you don't have to create it. You don't have to, you don't have to do anything with this. It just verify the info. Yeah, it looks pretty good. I like those 4 pictures that it grabbed. Of course, it's branded to you with your headshot and phone number and email. You can just, grab one of these and, you know, this could be part of what you put out front. This is part of what you have in an open house. This is part of, you know, what you send to folks. Maybe send this to the neighbors, you know, print them out and put them in an envelope and mail that. So just pretty cool. We have property sheets that are already created. Neat idea is this open house. So when you're, obviously, when you're doing an open house, if the data is, you know, just enter the open house right here, you know, Saturday, 12/12, 10 to 4. It's a long open house, but, and then there's 3 of these. So there's just a one pager, there's a extended, which has, you know, some basic info about the house. And then there's a sign-in sheet. So just think about, you know, if you hand one of these out to someone, it's, you know, branded to you. It's just a little bit different. I mean, obviously we can print out the MLS sheet and whatever, but I think this is more attractive. You know, it's just got your head shot on it. You know, sometimes we have to get a little creative to get our info to the folks, you know, walking around. You know, but you know, these are branded to you and just look like a, you know, definitely a step up. Your text code is up here. So, you know, the text 123456 to 35620 is on here. So if they have this later that day and want to, you know, oh man, like, you know, I want to see more pictures of it, they could simply text it and then that process starts where they get all the info and you get their, you know, you get their cell number. This is kind of neat as a sign-in sheet idea. So, you know, if you've done an open house, you know that we struggle getting info. You know, they put their name and then they're thinking like, oh geez, do I want to put my, you know, my phone number, my, you know, email, like what, you know, do I want to even give this info? I'm just kind of here. I might be interested, but I'm really just want to look and maybe not fork over all my info. Well, instead of printing anything, so just no flyers, no MLS sheets there. If you had this sheet here and said, oh, if you wouldn't mind signing in, and then to get the info about the house, so you can have it as you're walking around, just text 123456 to 35620. And you'll get all the information about the house immediately. Before you even start walking away from me, you'll have it. And they get their phones out and text it and they're like, oh wow, like geez, I got everything about this house. I'm going to have it for later. I'm going to have it for tomorrow if we're interested and want to kind of rethink about it, like, oh man, what was up with that house? And then right at that moment you're getting phone numbers as they're doing it. So if they leave their info, great. If they don't, but text the code, you're going to get their cell number. And again, later that day, when the open house is finished and you get home or whatever, whenever you want to, just a refresh text like, oh, so nice to meet you at the open house today. You know, just wanted to quick send a message and let you, you know if you have any questions, please, you know, whatever, like send a text to them as a summary, kind of maybe you get some feedback, maybe you get like, oh yeah, we're interested, you know, whatever. Obviously that's the idea, but you know, knowing that you have, you know, however many folks we're through, you know, you have all their numbers to be able to follow up and obviously potentially add them to your, you know, to your buyer checklist or things like that. So just a couple, and then you can do postcards through here. So, you know, with the text code and things like that. So if you send a postcard out, you know, just listed, if you do it through here, or even if you have your text code 1234, you know, if you know your text code, if you do it through here and it's this postcard, or you know, if you do send a postcard out and it's, you know, through someone else or wherever, you know, again, don't hesitate to say for more info, text, you know, code to 35620 because they get a postcard, you know, it's like some info, a couple pictures, you know, if they're actually interested and they text that, they got a postcard and then you got their phone number. So can't stress enough just the avenues that you can kind of use to use these text codes or keywords, whichever you choose, to you know, as lead gen, you know, opportunities. And you know, we just have to remember folks just love Zillow and Realtor, and they love it because it's been so advertised, and it's just stuck in their head. I get it. I totally get it, and it's um, it's just easy, but man, there are so many agents that advertise on Zillow and Real. I don't actually care, who else advertises or whatever. I just know there are so many opportunities to not ask me, the listing agent, about 123 Main Street, or again, whatever property they're asking about or curious about. So, this just brings leads to us instead of, who knows where else. So that is sort of the summary about TextERA. Does anybody have any questions? Hopefully it's helpful. If you ever, if you do get in here and have any questions, folks in your office, if you're going to be in the office, are great resources to help you through any questions. But just know you guys can always reach out to me. So if you have any questions, oh man, I can't remember how to, assign a code to this property because this is the, text writer I have, whatever, because sometimes if you don't use a platform, regularly, we kind of forget, how to do things, I guess. So just kind of think about, testing it out, check it out. And then if you have a listing, or as soon as you get a listing, just get creative, and use the heck out of it on social and things like that. And just test it, and just, I mean, obviously we know if we do test it, we could get no clicks or 20 clicks. It doesn't mean that it's not worth doing over and over, but I would do it consistently. So yeah, thanks, Jim. I love this product. I get kind of passionate about it just because of the lead gen piece, and knowing how important it is that we collect every lead that we can, to our, for us, whether it turns into a deal or not, we have a better shot of it turning into a deal if we know who asked about the house, or who came through the open house, etc. So. All right. Well, thank you guys for joining. One last pause for any questions. All right. Well, thank you guys for joining. And this is recorded, so I'll make sure it gets put in the Agent Hub. You'll get a little reminder if you want to check out the recording. But yeah, you're welcome. So thank you guys for coming, and have a great rest of your day.